We are continuing to get to know the new coaching staff, and right now I've got Evan Cooper, cornerbacks coach, here with me. Evan, thank you for taking the time to do this with me today.
Yeah, no problem. No problem.
All right, so one of the first things I read about you is your longstanding relationship with Coach Rule because you played for him at Temple from 2005 to 2008. And that's a long time to know somebody. So I was just wondering, do you remember the first time you met Coach Rule in person and what that was like?
Yeah, I'm feeling a little bit torn because you like dating me, like making me feel really, really old.
I'm sorry.
2005 was a long time ago. But yeah, no, the first time I met Coach has always been the same. Probably a little less scruff than he is now. He's always been like charismatic, really, really smart and detailed. Actually, my first college roommate was a D lineman, and Coach was the D line coach. So I would spend a lot of time with my roommate, and he would in turn spend a lot of time with Coach Rule, which connected us. And you know, you could just feel like when people talk about him, the it factor, he has it, and he's always had it. I actually know his wife. She was she was helping like the cafeteria plan our meals, so I've known that family forever, and just a great family. Like those are my people.
That's awesome. That is awesome to find out that she was so deep in it that she was helping plan your meal. That's really
Yeah,
really cool.
yeah, she was actually our cafeteria nutritionist.
Wow, I did not know that. I'm already learning. We're not even a minute in. I'm learning a lot already.
Exactly. What can you say?
so so you played for him, and then eventually you joined his coaching staff. But it wasn't necessarily a given. Now I'm going to read this quote from you because I want to make sure I didn't get it wrong. You know which one I'm talking about. It was in a Panthers article. You said Coach Rule actually told me that he would never hire me because I was a terrible graduate assistant. But then the rest is history. Okay, I got to know more about that. What's the backstory there? Were you a terrible graduate assistant?
I was. I think that I was. When we first got back to Temple, we didn't have any prior graduate assistants that stayed on. So the four of us, the group of guys that I came in with, it was all our first time. Nobody had any experience in graduate assistant. And I'm like, our D coordinator, Coach Snow, actually would say like, "Hey, yeah, did you have this cut up?" And in the back of my mind, I'm like, "Well, what is a cut up? What is that? Like, what exactly should I be doing right now?" And I felt like it took me an entire year to actually realize like I'm supposed to be doing so much more than I am.
He did give you a job, and you've been with him ever since he gave you that first full-time job. So what changed, or what did he see in you, you think, that has turned you into his now cornerbacks coach for the Panthers?
I don't know that as a graduate assistant, everything happened so fast. Like it was flying at me 100 miles per hour. But just working with Coach, you learn to expect what he expects, and you learn to cope with it and do it. And being around Coach and his expectations make you better. So I would like to think that I've grown under his leadership.
And not only are you getting to continue to work with him and a lot of that same staff that you know so well, you're getting a chance to really get involved with players at the professional level. And that's something that really stuck out to me as I learned a little bit more about you. Not only being a quarterbacks coach, but also you were the recruiting coordinator and you've been the director of player personnel over the course of your career. And those are positions that rely so much on developing and maintaining relationships with players. And so I had to wonder, what has it been like for you to try to develop those relationships when you can't meet anybody due to coronavirus? How has this process been for you over the last few months?
Yeah. Well, anytime you want to build a relationship, it should be organic. Like nothing's gonna be forced. Like I don't say, "Hey, let's get to know each other," and any of that kind of stuff. But
Wait, you don't do something like this where you sit down and you say, "We're going to get to know you"?
yeah, getting to know you. But no, no, this is great. But talking to the players, I don't feel like I can tell them things that I need them to do and be demanding if I don't know their kids' names or who's important to them. That's I learned that at a very very young stage in my career. You have to they don't really care what you know unless they know that you care. So that kind of sticks with me.
And it shows. So much of a coach's time is taken up with talking about football, watching tape, talking to the players, everything. What do you do to unwind? Like, what's your number one thing to do when you are not focused on football?
Like an activity?
Any of it. What's the thing that you're like, all right, and take my mind off football?
I really like eating. If I stand up, you'll be able to see that. I really like watching movies.
What are we watching? What's the best thing you've seen in the last 6 months?
The best thing that I've seen I try to, you know what? Trolls. My kids, they watch Trolls. Trolls, what was it, World Tour?
Because that's with the singing. They go the singing. I mean, and that's going to sound simplistic. I don't have kids, so I don't know, but I have even heard about it. So
yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah, there's some good tunes on there.
I might have to check it out.
I downloaded the soundtrack. I try to run and work out sometimes, and it might pop up. It gets me going. So
I like that you say it. Sometimes it might pop up. It's popping up. It's popping up on those runs or on those workouts. No shame in that. I'll check it out. The last thing I want to ask you, I came across a tweet that you sent. It was on the weekend of the draft, and you said draft weekend better than a birthday weekend. And now look, I had a lot of fun at the draft too, but that got me thinking, like, what is your approach to birthdays? Are you a big birthday guy? Because you said birthday weekend, not just like birthday day. Are you going all out for birthdays?
Well, first, the explanation behind that, I am a draft geek. Like I'm a nerd.
Me too.
I nerd out. I nerd out pretty heavy on draft weekends, and actually way before the draft. Like I've been following the draft since I was 7 years old. Like I either wanted to be Coach Belichick or somebody, or I wanted to be Todd McShay, or I either one of those two for me. But I on birthdays, I really don't. I don't go out much, but I do like I said, I love to eat. So like for my birthday, I usually get whatever I want to eat for a weekend, and like I said, it shows on Mondays. It does.
What was the last birthday meal that you had? I just gotta ask. Like, what was the thing that you went all out on?
I didn't go all out. It's left up to interpretation. But this past birthday, I went to Ruth's Chris, and I had like a seafood tower, and then I had the lobster, and I had the steak, and then I think, did I have a dessert? Did I have a creme brulee? I might have had.
You did.
Yeah,
I hope you did.
Oh, you did it up. You did it up. All right. I got my explanation. Well, look, it sounds like you know how to celebrate draft weekend and your birthday.
Yeah. I ate a lot on draft weekend too. I treated it like a birthday.
I love it. Evan, this was great. I definitely got to know a lot more about you. Thank you for taking the time to do this.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. I appreciate you guys having me.